I'm here talking to Rob Ryder, the author of The Genius Club and a few other novels, as a matter of fact. And we're just sitting in Laguna Beach, kind of kicking back and talking about this amazing book that I had the privilege to contribute an afterword to.
Last book I had published called The American Screen, which you also did some editing and review for me. Then from your input, we talked about, well, we now have a book that talks about a community on their own taking care of the things that are going bad in the country right now, and how to basically take care of themselves, become self-sustainable, etc. And I think it was actually your suggestion that said, why don't you write a sequel or prequel, whatever it would be, on how we can take this model and basically ship it out around the country so we can pick up a lot of different communities that want to do the same thing, hence became the Genius Club.
I love the Genius Club because it comes from this place of just infinite frustration with the way things are.
That's right.
But it also offers a solution, which is how can we do this? And the characters in it all represent different parts of, how we're frustrated with things. Is there any character in the Genius Club that's closest to your heart? That's closest to Rob Ryder?
Well, these are all fictional characters.
Sure.
But of course, as the author, there's always some reality or my perceptions or observation on the people.
Oh, of course,
like
right.
My first novel, The Road to Oblivion, was the downsized guy.
Yeah.
So these are a group of people who are staying in at one time, the resort in southern Florida,
right.
which as others came and got fancier, has kind of slipped a notch or two, and now it's attracting people with lesser means that are coming and using the facility that used to be the top of the line. And they're just wandering around the pool, looking for connections, and we get them all together, we tell their stories of how they got where they are, and what they can do to change things as they see it. It's basically helping our country do the downslide.
This idea of the spontaneous connections that happen between these people, all sharing a sort of similar ethos, is remarkable to me. I haven't read anything that lets people be who they are and then allows other people to appreciate them and say, hey, we have something in common. Let's do something with that. How did you get this idea? It's fascinating.
Well, that's a good point, and I'm always interested in people because we're all performance artists. In other words, our story relates who we are and we become a performer, but we don't really know what's sitting inside the head. So my idea here was, once we got the people to know their stories, we would see what they have in common and see where we can go from here. And you asked me before, what character do I mainly like, and the character I like is Doug Carpenter, who's one of the main characters, who's basically he and voluptuous Velma start putting the Genius Club together, beginning as a lark, and then other people started meeting with him. But Doug was typical of that age, worked for one organization all his life. Okay, he never got anywhere because he didn't look like the kind of guy that should be a manager or a CEO or what have you. So they basically left him in the Toledo sales office as the sales manager. Yeah. And Doug is recollecting or reminiscing on his career of how he spent basically the same day doing the same job for over 30 years.
Right.
And now he's at loose ends. His wife has died. He's living alone in Toledo. He has no ties to Toledo.
Right.
But he can't get out, and he's kind of stuck. And he would go to the Sun and Fun room at the fabulous Eldorado Resort where they're at 3 o'clock every day, basically looking for connections. And this older woman, Velma, who is still a very beautiful woman, comes in, and Doug is playing the pickup artist, one of the roles he could never do, and it's not him, but he doesn't know anything else to do while he's at the resort. And he starts talking to Velma, and she's a very remarkable woman who's accomplished quite a bit, but is also one of those women with good looks and well built who didn't have to work too hard. So she jumps in with Doug, and they say, why don't we get together, and facetiously they called it the Genius Club. And then as people started coming, they started collecting them, and they wound up saying, hey, this is what we can do not only for our age group that's been kind of getting screwed, but also the unemployed, what I see as a bigger problem, the underemployed,
Sure.
can't get a job, can't get the right job, and just people who have stories of desperation. They start genius clubs to basically revitalize and make every community in the country on their own, self-sustainable, forgetting the political system, forgetting the economic system that isn't working for most people anymore, forgetting the poor education system, trying to bring equality, opportunities back, community by community. Okay.
So that's it, and we're out.